For some answers, we're going to turn to Mike Proulx, the Chief Innovation Officer at Hill Holliday.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Proulx from Hill Holliday and co-author of the book Social TV. Welcome to episode 2 of The Pulse on Lost Remote, bringing you the top social TV headlines. A lot's happened in the past 2 weeks, so let's get to it. So the future of TV is one of my favorite topics because there's so much disruption happening in the category right now, and what that means for consumers is more choice, more content. And on the surface, that sounds like a good thing, but what it also means is there's going to be choice paralysis.
And it really acts as television's EKG. It's a heartbeat that we can look at to get the pulse on what's happening to the live audience that's watching as we're doing programming.
49% start their search for products on Amazon
versus 36%
not
on
Google
search
or
engines.
Bing.
Right.
That's crazy when you think about the effect that Amazon has in all of our lives. You can't make a viral video. Virality is a result, not an intent that can be produced. What you can produce is awesome content that you hope people are gonna wanna spread.
Tell us what TikTok is.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is if Instagram Stories and BuzzFeed and the now defunct Vine were to have a baby, that's TikTok. It is literally one of the most popular and fastest growing apps right now. Hey everyone, I'm Mike Proulx from Hill Holliday and Trillia, and this is Media Forward Now, episode 77. Yes, it's that time of year again where Mary Meeker has just released her highly anticipated Internet Trends Report, and I'm here with 2 returning guests. We got Faith Markham and Lindsay Blanche. We're going to break it all down for you guys as to our reactions to the report. 5 years ago, Stacy and I stood before many of you guys here today at our very first TV Next. 5 years. Doesn't sound that long, right? Well, back then, Twitter had 1/5 of its users. The iPad was just 6 months old. And Netflix primary revenue was still DVDs through the post office, nonetheless. On the next episode, I'll share the results and name one lucky winner chosen at random of social TV. We are quick as I would say users when there is a cool feature or something interesting, we jump and use it. And then we ask questions later. We're all, maybe not you, but most of us are guilty in doing that. And I think there's just a bigger societal question of the ethics or the danger in leaping before really looking at what's below. Sure.
The whole point sometimes is making it public, but you got to be careful.
If you have a private account, you're not going to be able to take advantage to everything that TikTok has to offer, but this really is about a conversation between parents and kids and what makes sense for the family. But then Facebook Stories come out and no one is using them. Who here uses Facebook Stories? No one. When you're on a mobile device, especially a small one, to have to type in your credit card information every time and link out to a website and wait for load, this reduces friction. So from a CX perspective, this is a really great thing. Hey everyone, I'm Mike Proulx from Hill Holliday, and we're aboard the USS Massachusetts with our friends from CNN Air. And we're gonna fly some drones. And we almost couldn't fly because we were getting 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts over there. It was freezing, and the wind was insane. So we were, a little antsy about whether or not we could put these things up in air. For marketers, for television network execs, for anybody that is creating content for TV, we have to look at it differently. And so the only way to do that is to think about it as a new media.
And we've got an incredible lineup of some of the hottest topics that are happening in television right now. These are just a few. Plus, towards the end of the day, we're going to show you the results of our first ever TV Next hackathon that happened this past weekend. And you guys are going to vote for the best in show. That media has become, and advertising, quite frankly, has become more personal than ever before. And it's this kind of technology that enables that level of personalization and customization. So we have to be experimenting with beacons right now.
But what really put it on the map was House of Cards, which was the first original, and that's what gave it some differentiation. And now Netflix, because of all these streaming services, is going to have a lot more competition in the mix. Snapchat now tells us that it's best practice when you're doing a Snap ad to get your message across in a 3-second ad. 3 seconds. So, the creativity that needs to go into that is going to be very different than long-form content.
They don't want you making
Because just posting it
and investing time in creating a piece of content that's just made for IGTV, that's a heavy lift for maybe not a whole lot of reach right now.
Yeah, and
Today we're going to kick off this morning with a look at the role of the CMO and also the future marketing landscape. We're going to tackle content from different directions, including content studios, immersive technology, drones, and also look at audio content, including podcasts and Spotify as well. You mentioned the acquisition of Twitter, which happened super fast. Bluefin's offices are now affectionately referred to as Twitter Boston. What's happened to the Bluefin product, the Signals product?
This is big news. So after, what is it, 15 years, these two companies are coming back together. Why is this so important?
That people want to choose to engage with versus banner ads that, I think are the wrong way to go when you're especially talking about mobile devices. I think that across the board, quite frankly, but mobile devices, they're interruptive. There's only so much screen real estate space that you have on that device. I mean, the reality is this in Snapchat, it's even easier to skip an ad. You just press your thumb or swipe it, and that's it. I'm really excited about this judging panel this year. We got 2 superstar journalists and reporters. We got a venture capitalist, and we have a great, awesome, and very friendly television exec. We appreciate this. I was psyched about having this group of people on stage. I don't know that that's happened yet since these partnerships were made, so I want to thank you guys. Ultimately, it is about the content. But if no one knows it's there in the first place. This reminds me of Twitter back in 2008 when celebrities started getting onto the platform. That's what's happening to TikTok right now. We're going to segue into something that, frankly, I'm a little bit jealous of that you guys did with HP. You had a fun concept where you essentially interleaved all of these Vine stars together in one TV spot, and it was seamless, it was flawless. Can you talk a little bit about where and how that idea came from?
If I'm a brand that is just starting to get into personalization, I've been doing mass media messages for a while, and I'm like, you know what, it's time to start tailoring them. What's my starting point? How do I go about doing this?
Effie, one of your drone pilots, I think your lead drone pilot, shared with me that when CNN gets news stories, you guys kind of use a filter to say whether or not there's an application to shoot with drones. Can you quickly talk a little bit about that in the context of tomorrow's election?
You have to subscribe to be able to watch it. The good news, though, in terms of your pocketbook, is that there's a lot of deals that are being made. One example was Disney Plus. If you're a Verizon Wireless subscriber, you're able to get Disney Plus for free for a year if you're on the unlimited plan. I'm not a fan of interruptive advertising. I'm not a fan of gaming the system. I'm not a fan of throwing things in people's faces and hope that they notice it. I'm a fan of people choosing to engage and watch and love your content and want to share it because it's delightful. That's what I care about. Most of those startups that failed or pivoted or got acquired, they were second screen apps. So they were the TV check-ins of the world. They were the social TV guides of the world. They don't really exist anymore. What happened? So you talk about all of this data that these devices and tech companies are collecting, merging it together. It could be good for consumers, but at the same time, privacy is a major concern. For episode 6 of The Pulse on Lost Remote, I'm Mike Proulx. And be sure to check out all the latest social TV headlines on lostremote.com.